All right, welcome back to this segment of Bayou Time. I'm Martin Falls, and we're going to talk about the fire. Everybody knows about the fire. It's been going for quite a long time. There's a lot of reasons why, but the parish has been on top of it, and joining us now is the parish president of Terrebonne Parish, Mr. Gordon Dove, and Mr. Joey Seahan is right here with him, and he is the parish public works operations manager. Good to see you guys, and on some good news coming through Terrebonne Parish. Mr. Dove, I know y'all been out there all day, and if you're watching this on TV, Facebook, or YouTube, today is Friday, so you'll have your bearings when we're talking about this. But as of Friday, how's it look?
Martin, the fire's out. We're monitoring. We're still pumping water. You know, we flooded 4,000 acres. We're probably up to about 1.9 billion gallons of water that we've actually pumped. In other words, a wetland became a dry land. And a fire started, whether it was intentionally or accidentally, something started the fire a few thousand feet from the Highway 90. And what happened is, it's come to find out it was peat moss. And peat moss could burn for months and months, if not years.
They use that for fuel.
Yes. And so, look, I want to thank all the fire departments. Bayou Kane was the lead, Shriver, Bob Black, Houma, and Bob Blue. They all worked, but I mean, it came to a point where there's no way they could put it out. I mean, they just limited to along the edges of it, and they kept it off the road and the levees and everything they could do. And I made a decision with Joey and my public works people that we would go ahead and just flood it, because we're actually trying to design, not trying, we're building a pump station right there that's going to pump water into that system, and we were going to levee that off and make a big retention pond. Mm-hmm. So we had all our sea level elevations and all already. We studied that. We had all the paperwork already on that particular 4,000 acres. So we knew we could pump it and douse out this peat moss, which was, hundreds of acres, and it burnt into a couple of thousand acres probably.
Yeah. Let's do this, and Joy, before we get into the slides also. And Joe, I'm going to get you just to point that microphone towards you a little bit more so it'll pick you up. There you go. Thank you.
All right.
I know you and Mr. Dove were talking prior to the show, and y'all going to keep some water pumping on it for precautionary measures at this point?
Yeah, we got a notification yesterday of a red flag warning, which is going to be some north winds, 15 to 20, gusting to 30 possibly. So we're just going to take a precaution and go ahead and pump through the weekend, and then we'll reassess it on Monday.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
Let's start. I know y'all prepared a slide presentation that will take our viewers through the whole process. So, Mr. Dove, we'll start with you if you can. What is this we've seen on the screen?
Well, Martin, when we knew that the fire departments couldn't put it out because it was a mile in the marshes and all, and it wasn't a regular marsh fire that would burn itself out. Well, I went ahead and signed an emergency declaration, which is allowed by law, and it frees up money and it frees up our hands to do everything humanly possible. People were getting smoke in their homes and on the roads. It really became pretty bad at one time. As
it allows
knows.
you to do whatever you deem necessary to get it put out.
It's solely my discretion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's move over to the peat moss slide, Jay, and if y'all want to describe this one for us.
Peat moss is something that's kind of around the area, just about everywhere we look along the coast. It's very, very flammable, and it'll burn for days, weeks, months, years if it's unattended.
Now, is it my understanding that the peat moss was sort of hidden under a lot of other things, and the fire was burning underneath a lot of debris, and just when you think you have it, boom, right, it combust?
Yeah, exactly. So it'll burn with very little smoke. You won't see any visible flame or just a light smoke until you start getting a good wind, and it'll flame up, and that's when, of course, you'd see those big smoke plumes that everyone saw from crossing the DeZalman's Bridge coming into Houma. You would see it.
All right, let's go to the next slide. Of course, there's a peat moss hazard that you see. And know a lot of people, Mr. Parish President, don't realize a lot of people put peat moss in planters, and a lot of people go and put cigarette butts in them. Not a good idea, right?
Right. A discarded cigarette butt generates temperatures in excess of 700 degrees. Peat moss can ignite at 500 degrees. And on the front peat moss definition, peat moss absorbs 20 times their weight in water. So when we had this dry spell, all the wetlands, the peat moss kept absorbing until everything was dry, and we had a big brittle marsh out there. Because remember, this is wetlands for thousands of years. Right. And peat moss builds up for over thousands of years. So in this dry time, anything can ignite it. Now, no one would believe that a cigarette generates 700 degrees Fahrenheit. And so that's what lit it. I don't know if it was a cigarette or whatever it lit it, but something ignited because we didn't have lightning or anything.
Let's go, Jason, to the next one. Skip over the next recent peat deposits on the coastal plain. Go to the map, Jay, if you can. Right here. What are we looking at on this one?
Okay, the reason we have this map is this is what we're building as we speak. In the left-hand corner behind Rouse's, if you pass, you'll see a crane. We're building a pump station there to pump water from Bayou into this retention. And we're actually under construction. So that's why this is the outline of what we are going to have as a retention pond. It will hold up to 1.7 billion gallons of water.
Let's bring that slide up because that's the next slide. It'll show the...
It will relieve water out of Bayou when Bayou flows to Bonanza, but Bonanza and Bayou Tailbone can't handle all the water anymore. So that, like I said, we had all the engineering data, so we knew we would start pumping in the corner of Savannah Road and Whiskey Bayou over there to the right. And in the Bayou Cane levee, which is from Rouse's all the way to 90, we had pumps stretched out there.
All right, let's do this. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, actually show you some pictures of the smoldering process that was going on some good news that the fire is out. Hopefully we can put that past us here in Terrebonne Parish. We'll be right back. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, we are back. I'm with the parish president. I'm also with Joey Sehan, and we are talking about the fire that is out, the Marsh fire, and that's official, just made official on this program. We're going to jump to slide 24 if we can. It gives you a good bird's eye view. It's a pretty big area, no doubt, Mr. Parish President.
Yeah, and you can see up in the front, right along there is where we're constructing the levee. And if you look at all the green and then you go all the way back, you can see where it burnt back there, where we stopped the burning all the way to Rouse's. And of course, there's other areas too in that 4,000 acres. Remember, 4,000 acres is 5 miles long by 1.5 to 2 miles wide as you go from Savannah Road to Highway 90. And as you can see, that we saved quite a bit. And look, I can't say enough for the leadership of Joey Seahan, it's Steve Pondville, and the fire departments, fire chiefs, and everyone else involved.
Let's go back to slide 8, Jay. This will show some of the smoldering that was actually taking place with the peat moss and other things.
And you can see in the back that glow that was on fire. Besides that, we can have other pictures that show you all the miles they had of smoldering, just smoldering smoke. And peat moss, once it's burning, it puts out a lot of smoke, as everyone found out.
And in the next slide, we see people working. This was more dangerous than I think a lot of people thought. People trying to work on machines around the fire, which, I'm sure they had a good idea where it was going, but it's still dangerous work.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons we had closed down Savan Road. We just had a lot of equipment, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people, moving back and forth, and it just it was a hazard to the workers and everyone involved. So we chose to close the road until we got it completed. On
slide 10, it gives you some good information, Mr. Dove. Maybe you could go over this with the people.
Yeah, we got up to pumping 180 million gallons every 24 hours. Probably right now we've moved a few pumps out, so we probably about 130 million gallons a day. And we were getting 1.2 billion gallons our first 7 days. And to date, we're estimating 1.8 billion gallons with a B. And, it's a little less than 4,000 acres. So as you know, that's a lot of water.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to our next slide, once again showing these are the pumps and the lines. How many pumps you said you had out there? 40?
24.
24, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. They could probably use those pumps in the Mississippi.
You're right.
Well, why is Terrebonne always ahead of everybody else,
That's right.
And Joey, explain to him how we built the levee there and all, because the water would have come back over.
Right. So we built a makeshift ring levee around the tied into the potato levee that followed Whiskey Bayou, connected it onto Savan so we could channel the water back into the system. And that's what you see in that picture right there. Eventually, those pipes were completely covered with a full levee after we got all the pumps in place.
And as you can see in the next slide, right here up on the screen, that's a lot of your pumps brought in and put strategically in place.
And that's the Bayou levee right there, and that goes approximately 5 miles. This wasn't just a small contained area. This was 5 miles long that we were having to make sure we inundate with water. And I mean, like I said, hats off to everyone. The engineering firm of GIS, Joe Chauvin
and Trey Middleton.
Trey Middleton was excellent. Earl with the sheriff's office, he was flying drones. Sheriff Tim Saunier there every step of the way, including our own chief, and with Chief Terrio, and everyone made it happen.
Yep. Let's go to slide 15, Jay, which shows the large pipes. Let's skip that one. We pretty much covered that. But these show the folks the diameter of the pipes that you're pumping water through.
Yep. So that's a 24-inch and an 18-inch that you see in the picture right there. And let me just tell you, Martin, we had 3 different contractors working the night we built this system. We had Lemoyne contractors out of Plaquemine, Louisiana, Associated Pumps, and Norris and Boudreaux. And it was like a weld-all machine. These guys they made it happen.
All right, let's do this. We'll take another short break. We'll come back with our final segment with the parish president and also the Public Works Operations Manager, Joey Seahan. It's all next. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer. Attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford. Built Ford Tough. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, we're back with Parish President Gordon Dove. Joey Sehan, of course, is with us. He's the Terrebonne Parish Public Works Operations Manager. Let's just start flipping through some slides, Jason, if we can, and we'll let them jump in. But this just shows you a lot of the pumps.
Out of Whiskey Bayou. That's Whiskey Bayou.
Okay. And we'll keep moving along and let y'all comment. There's another good look.
That's discharging into the 4,000 acres.
A lot of water coming out those
Right.
pipes.
In that canal, you see kind of dug was where you saw that excavator with that glow in the back. Mm-hmm. And that water put out that glow.
Well, look at 19, the next shot. Look at the haze out there. Is that what everybody was subjected to when you're out there?
Yeah, there was several times on Savannah Road we couldn't pass at all. We had to just wait it out.
Yeah, that just shows you the effort that went through to get it done. 20 will show you a plume. There's a.
And look at the back, how widespread that some was fire, some was smoke, but peat moss puts out a lot of smoke.
And look at 21, slide 21. That's impressive.
And see, where this is, that used to be a pretty good size. That was all wet. That was a big pond. And we had to fill this whole thing back up. And of course, you can see where we're starting to fill it up right there. And because it's the only way, this stuff was burning 20 inches below the ground.
Wow.
I mean, then you see the fires off to the right. Mm-hmm. You see some of it smoldering, some of it's fire. That was all over that 4,000 acres like that.
And let's go to slide. It's 25 on ours, Jay. It's one where you can see everything flooded. That you can tell where the pump. Keep going, moving it forward. There you go. Is that what y'all pumped in it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was dry.
That was completely dry before.
That was completely dry.
Yeah. But that's just proof that those pumps really did a nice job.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Well, look at the
job.
next
And then
picture. Look at that.
27. That was all dry. Remember, this was wetlands for thousands of years. That's where the peat moss was formed.
Yeah.
The peat moss, my guys was telling us, is about 16, 18 inches thick. And, of course, that's where some of it burnt. And then you could see areas as we flipped that the green that we were able to save off up to the right.
See, but this is good stuff that people don't get to see what's happening all the time. And I'm glad y'all put this together because this gives people a pretty good explanation. You know, a lot of people would probably think, well, what's the big deal? Why can't this fire go out there quick? This is a lot of acres.
Now look all the green we saved and all those trees along. You're going to see trees way back in the back. We flooded all that, but remember we flooded 5 miles like that.
Advance those slides, Jay. They got a better pic right there. Look at that.
Yeah. See, and look, all these trees we saved. All the trees would have burnt.
Yeah. You see that little fire that you see right there? Little smoke you see on the top left corner of the screen? Mm-hmm. That was one of our last fires we had on the Bayou Cane side. And the next slide will show Bayou Blue, Harvey Parks, and Ryan Fungi came out and with that brush truck and helped us extinguish that.
They could get to it from the levee.
Right.
Let's advance it 2 slides, Jay. Next one after this. That's a ground level shot.
Look,
I took that picture yesterday from the airboat.
Yeah, and see, you're in Whiskey Bayou.
Yeah.
You see, there's a potato levee runs along there. See, we all the way up to the top of this old potato levee that contained it. And look, more like I said, look all the trees in the background. We saved all them trees. Besides, we could have had to end up evacuating people if that thing would have gotten any worse than what it was, you know.
Let's show the last 2 slides, Jay, and then we'll talk a little bit. But this just shows you how massive an area. And really, pictures never do it justice. But this is a a large area that you can't get everything in one photo op, you know?
Right.
But
And look at the trees, Martin, over here. All those trees we were able to save. And you could see where it burnt, you know?
how'd you deal with all the myths that were circulating around, like y'all were pumping water bases dry?
Yeah, it's.
I had
you
to
know,
shake my head when I'd hear some of those things.
You know, Martin, sometime on Facebook, I'm amazed the creativity of some folks.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know if we could ever pump the intracoastal dry, huh?
Yeah.
That would be difficult.
That would be a little
Or
difficult.
the Gulf.
Right.
The Whiskey Bayou goes, you're right, goes all the way to the coast.
Right. So, I mean, how do you pump that dry?
But I mean, you could just see the water. Remember, we did this 5 miles of this stuff. That, you know, like I said, that we inundated back to its original state. In fact, the Corps ought to be happy with us. We created wetlands.
Well, right, yeah. Do we get credit?
That's right, we should.
And boy, if we would tearing it down, they sure would come
Oh,
on it.
yeah, they mitigate.
So with a minute and a half left, is this something that you can get help paying for through outside of Terrebonne?
Yeah, Maud, whenever I started like this, we declared emergency, so puts us in line for reimbursement through GoSouth. I called the director, Tingle. He told me to get my paperwork together. He said they got other fires in other parishes, and they're going to look at it, and they believe that there's a good chance they'll fund it. The state will never tell you they're going to fund it 100%, but we did it by the book. We did the paperwork correctly, so we should get reimbursed.
Well, look, I want to thank y'all, and thank you, Gordy, thank you, Joey, and thank everybody who put in that effort. A lot of people put in a big effort, and it's good to hear that before a beautiful weekend in Terrebonne, that the fire is out.
And more, I want to thank Tommy Boudreau with with Norris and Boudreau, and also Paul Klingman with Associated Pumps and Lemoyne Pumping. They really worked well, huh, Joey?
They did a great job for
All
us.
right. Thank you all. We appreciate it. And, of course, we'll launch this. This will be on HTV, Facebook, and YouTube so everybody can see that the fire is out. And just facts as we go to a break, the Intracoastal still has a lot of water in it. We'll be back. Don't go away.